Hi, I'm Leah with the Salted Image, and today I would like to share with you one of my favorite apps for editing my photograph. The app is available free through Adobe, and it is called Adobe Fresco. Let's go ahead and open a photo to play around with. And I want to give it more of a watercolor effect. So nestled between the pixel brushes and the vector brushes is our live brush. So when you open the live brushes, it will give you two options, and that is watercolor brushes and oil brushes. I chose soft watercolor wash. And then for my water flow, if I have it up at 100, it's gonna give out a lot more water. So I want to bring it down quite a bit. I'm gonna take it all the way to 10. Let me show you the difference. So here's at 10, and then here's a water flow of 100. So you can see that the 100 is much stronger of a watercolor effect. Now with this little circle here, if I don't hold that down, it's just going to watercolor with the color that I have selected, which is this yellow. So I would get this yellow on top of my photo, mixing in. But if I hold this circle down, like so, then it will use clear water instead of colored water. So now it is going over the image and it is merging those pixels together with a watercolor effect, but without any color. So right now my water flow is at 100%. So that gives it a very strong effect. So I'm going to go ahead and undo that. And then I'm going to take my water flow down. I'm going to take it down to 8. Now this is going to give me a much more subtle effect. I could also double tap this so that it turns blue if I want to work for a longer period of time. And that way I don't have to just keep holding that down. I'm going to take my size down. And I'm also going to take the water flow down all the way to 10. All right, so there's my brush size. Again, I'm just using pure water. And if I wanted to soften these petals, I could just go right over it. And it's going to give it a very subtle effect. So before, after. All right, but let's say I wanted to do the same thing, but this time with the oil paint. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to select oil. Let's do oil paint chunky. And I'm going to go ahead and just select this color. Now if I go over it, it's going to merge with the colors underneath. See that? It's picking up some of that yellow, dragging it across. So there I started with this and I drug it across. So you can see that will mix together. Double tap is a dry brush, so it doesn't add any color. So if I want to go for a really painterly effect in my photos, I could do a dry brush and then I could just follow the form of the petals just like you would with a paintbrush. Again, I'm assuming because I don't ever oil paint, but I would like to. So I'm going to try different settings, try to get rid of all these lines. Like I don't want to go this way, I'm going to actually follow the shape of the petal. You can see these lines coming down. Again, I'm going to follow along the shape. Now I have changed to the oil paint round brush. I have taken the size down quite a bit so I can do a little bit more detailed work on the inner part of the peony. I have my flow at 48. Then I'm just going to go over each part. Again, I am using this with no color. This is just a dry brush. So this will give me a more painterly look. So I'm going to go ahead and go through and do all this. You're going to drag whatever color. So if I wanted to drag the dark up, I would go from this way. If I wanted to drag the light down, I would go that way. So let's say I think this color is too dark. This is the color palette from this image. So I'm going to go ahead and take this kind of brighter green. Starts with the color and then color starts to wear out, just like if you had a paintbrush loaded and then the longer you used it, the less paint you would have. So this works the same way. And now I'm going to make it a dry brush, mix these together a little bit. And I want it to be a little bit more green here. I think I like that brighter than it was. Come down over here, do the same thing. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just select this color. So that's my color selector tool. I think I'm going to take some of this green, just add it right over here. Going back to just a dry brush. I do have a blend tool that I can use, but I don't really like to use that because it gets rid of the texture. So you can see it kind of erase these lines. But, you know, if those lines are too strong here and there, I could use it sparingly. There's a lot of free brushes that you can get access to with Fresco, and here's one called Kyle's Concept Brushes Cubist Color. So let's see what that is like if I blend with it. So it's going to give me some texture. It's kind of cool. I don't mind it. So there's just all sorts of things you can experiment with and play around with, and that is really the key. It's to play and to experiment because, you know, life is serious, so let's not take this too serious. So I think when you're using digital tools that are trying to mimic a traditional medium like oil paint or watercolor, you know, don't be too hard on it. This will never be real oil paint or real watercolor. So if it doesn't look exactly like it, that's okay. I mean, it's digital. It's not going to ever look exactly like it. Let's give it more soft edges like a paint would have. Then if you have Apple, iPhone, or an iPad, there is a free version. Fresco used to be entirely free, but they have recently made just a part of it that's free, which is a shame. But if you want a editing drawing app, then I would recommend. Okay, so there is with the painterly effect, there's without. So there it is, and without. Or if you end up downloading it and trying something, I would absolutely love to see what you do. So you can share it on Instagram and tag me, or just let me know in the comments where I can see it, and I would love to take a look. All right, keep creating. Bye.